Nti we ensem ahodo timi call so channel yi so high population television ya mishraw on trewoshim so wo yemre e wo ha o mari yeso bitima subscribe share hit on notification bell na ema ebusuan ku no emu enye kese ya mishraw se obeka ebusuan ku no that's an so bad here di edom yenia ensan hyiam na yensum wo kwan so kura ha a population television me that's so yemre
to attend the Kwahu Easter celebrations. And while we were planning the trip, my friend and co-conspirator, the Honorable Julius Deborah, formulated an idea that as part of attending the celebrations, we should organize a forum so that I could use it as a platform to explain what my economic policies were going to be and how they were going to assist business people to be able to transform their businesses and grow their businesses. And so we contacted a few business people and they thought it was a brilliant idea. And so that is how the idea of the Kwahu Business Forum was born. But at that forum, I made a pledge that if God's favor shined on me and I became president, I will come back the next year and we'll organize the forum again, bigger and better. And that when I was coming, I was going to bring my relevant ministers. It's just a testament of the acumen of Kwahu business people. But it is not only for Kwahu businessmen. It's open to all Ghanaian businessmen, foreigners, Ghanaians, anybody who wants to come and attend and network is invited to attend this forum. The world is changing and new opportunities are being thrown up. And we as a country must take advantage of those opportunities. From the era of the Cold War, we had the era of globalization. In all these stages, Africa continued to lose out. But I think that the opportunity is beginning to come for Africa because world geopolitics is changing. We all can take note of the trade wars that are taking place between the economically mighty countries. It is creating global shifts in terms of production. And this is the opportunity that Africa must take. And so let us shake ourselves out of the mindset that we are traders, because we can be manufacturers, we can be industrialists, we can be digital entrepreneurs, we can be agribusinessmen, we can be large-scale commercial farmers, we can be anything that we want. And so with the shift in the global geopolitics, opportunities, new opportunities are being created. And as long as the Trumpian things continue happening, it makes the world a bit more unpredictable. And the more unpredictable the world is, the more opportunity it creates for those who have been marginalized for a long time. I want to thank Nana Chairman for the comments he made about the Afram Plains. And I want to assure him that Afram Plains is in our sight in terms of its agricultural potential and agro-processing. We've labeled Afram Plains a special agro-processing zone, SAPZ. And in line with the same program that the African Development Bank is pursuing, we intend to achieve substantial funding from the African Development Bank for investment in the Afram Plains, both in terms of agriculture and agro-processing. But to be able to do that, we must first put in the infrastructure. And so under the big push, we have put the bridge at Echiamam from under the big push to construct the bridge so that we can take the ferry away And then also we've targeted the main roads in the Afram Plains area to rehabilitate them so that it can ease doing business in the area. Let me thank both the majority and minority leader for attending. For me, it sends a signal that this is a non-partisan business forum, and that it is open to everybody, notwithstanding one's political affiliation. And my hope is that future presidents who succeed me will continue to adopt this as a forum that must continue, no matter which party is in power. But I'd like to make my last comment on the issue the minority leader raised. And it's not only him. There are several businessmen who have told me that one of the major hindrances they face in business is not even capital. It is getting trusted people to work with. If somebody comes to work for you, he thinks that your business is a platform for him also to build his business. And it's not only him who has had that experience. I've had it too. I bought a bus for a relative to run transport business so that he can look after the family at home and stop disturbing me on my small parliamentary salary. And they gave it to a driver who was a relative. Good driver though. The first thing he did was he went and put a carrier on the bus. And anytime you saw the bus had more load on top of it than in the bus. And so what happened? The axle broke down. And it was the most regrettable experience in my life. When the axle broke down, they came to me to buy a new axle. So the reason for buying the bus had been defeated. Anytime the bus broke down, they'll come to me to come and repair it. And it was costing me more to repair the bus than if I had just been murmuring the money to them. But you know what happened? This driver used to live in the family house. While he was driving the bus, he procured the land. He started to build a house. The house reached lintel level when the bus finally broke down. And by then I had had enough. So I refused to repair the bus and decided to dispose of it. And so I sold the bus. This was like several years, maybe years, more than 10 years ago. And since I sold the bus, where the building reached lintel level, it is still at lintel level even till today. And so what he says is very serious, getting trusted people to work with. And so we must look at that aspect of the restraints to industry. And I know that even some business people and industrialists are going out of, like he said, are going out of the country and bringing foreigners to come and manage their businesses. It's an indictment on our human resource. And it's something that we must begin to think about and find ways of creating a core of management that is dedicated to working to build the business. Because what they forget is as the business grows, you get better remunerated, you benefit more. But if you want to suck your pound of flesh out of the business and kill it and move on, then no industry is going to grow and survive. And so that is an issue that we need to take up so that we all can think how we can manage to create a core of Ghanaian business managers who are dedicated, who have integrity, and who will work to grow the businesses so that they survive and create more opportunities for our young people. And so those were the preliminary comments, but I have a speech here, so let me inflict it on you. I'm sorry. You have to stay a few more minutes and listen to this speech. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure for me to be here in Mpraeso in the heart of Kwahu, home to industrious and resilient people, and a place that has become a vital center for Ghana's entrepreneurial and investment dialogue. I thank the organizers of the Kwahu Business Forum for sustaining this important platform, which has quickly become a feature in our national economic conversation. This year's theme, the future of business, the role of the financial sector, could not be more relevant. The financial sector is the bloodstream of any economy. Without it, businesses cannot grow and jobs cannot be created, and innovation cannot thrive. Let me begin with the state of our economy. We are all aware of the challenges our country has faced in recent years: soaring inflation, a weakened cedi, rising debt levels, and a decline in investor confidence. These challenges have weighed heavily on businesses and households alike, but I'm confident, and I say this with sincerity, that we will turn the corner. There are early signs of macroeconomic stabilization. Inflation is gradually easing, the currency is stabilizing, and with disciplined management, we shall restore a measure of confidence in our economy. But ladies and gentlemen, recovery alone is not enough. We must now set our sights higher on transformation of the economy. We must build an economy that is resilient, inclusive, and productive. And this cannot be achieved without a financial sector that works not just for a few, but for every Ghanaian business, from the roadside vendor to the massive industrialist. Our vision for Ghana's future business landscape is bold and deliberate. We are pursuing a targeted program in restoring investor confidence by enhancing transparency, cutting bureaucratic red tape, and promoting a rules-based investment climate. We're prioritizing sectors that can absorb labor and grow our economy sustainably, like agro-processing, ICT, manufacturing, tourism, renewable energy, and the green economy. But our focus is not only on attracting foreign investment. We're equally committed to empowering Ghanaians to become owners and drivers of enterprise. And this is why this government will support the private sector not just with policy, but with decisive action. We will expand access to affordable financing through financial institutions like the commercial banks, the Ghana Development Bank, the Women's Development Bank, and partnership with other private financial institutions. We will support small and medium enterprises with targeted financing, tax incentives, and technical support. We will modernize infrastructure including roads, logistics, and digital connectivity to create an environment where businesses can thrive. We'll reduce the cost of borrowing by reforming credit systems and supporting blended finance instruments. And we'll retool the financial sector to serve the real economy, not just government borrowing or speculative trading. We also will launch a national venture capital fund to support youth and women-led businesses and introduce regulatory reforms that encourage banks and financial institutions to lend to the productive sectors of the economy. And in all this, financial inclusion will be at the heart of this agenda. No economy can grow if its people remain excluded from the formal financial systems. We'll work with banks, fintechs, and mobile money operators to expand access to financial services, particularly in rural and underserved communities. Nana Chairman, distinguished guests, the future of business in Ghana must be digital, it must be green, and it must be inclusive. We're entering an era where digital infrastructure is as important as roads and other infrastructure. As part of our 24-hour economy strategy, we'll create the conditions through reliable electricity supply, logistics, and public safety for businesses to operate around the clock. This will boost productivity, create jobs, and expand opportunities across the country. But in trying to transform our country, an important ingredient is the requirement of skills. And that's why we're introducing a Jobs and Skills Compact, bringing together government, industry, and academia to align education and training with the needs of the changing job market. We'll provide incentives to companies that create sustainable, decent jobs and support youth entrepreneurship to unlock the creativity of our young people. Our vision is of a Ghana where no young person needs to leave their hometown in search of opportunities, where our communities will become hubs of innovation, enterprise, and decent work. To truly enable business grow, we must go beyond economic policy. It requires a firm commitment to rule of law, political stability, and respect for contracts and property rights. It also requires a responsive, corruption-free public service that sees the private sector not just as a source of revenue, but as a partner in development. And that is why forums like these are important. They allow us to listen, to engage, and to co-create policies that work for us. Your insights and innovations are critical to the national reset that we have embarked upon. Ladies and gentlemen, Nana Chairman, in conclusion, the future of Ghana will not be determined by government alone. It will be determined by our ability to build partnerships between the state and private sectors, between finance and innovation, and between leadership and the people. The Kwahu Business Forum is more than just an event. It is a call to action. And so let us work together to build a Ghana that is competitive, productive, and inclusive, and a Ghana that creates opportunities for all. And so on this note, it's my honor and privilege to declare the 2025 Kwahu Business Forum duly open. Thank you, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Thank you, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama. Kwahu Business Forum is more than just an event. Thank you once again, His Excellency. Let's give that for His Excellency. Let's do it one more time. One more time. So, at this moment, we will be having presentations and speeches from our MDs from the banks. We'll be having the first batch of presentation and speeches by the MDs, after which we'll be having the networking and photo ops. Then it will proceed in that manner. So first, to give us a presentation, will be the MD for GCB Bank PLC, Farhan Al-Hassan.
Good morning. So I don't know what my crime is to be called to speak after the president. Anytime you listen to him, you begin to wonder whether he's a banker, an economist, or an agriculturalist. I think his speech has laid a very good foundation for what we want to discuss today. Unfortunately, I don't have a speech to inflict on you. I would want to just speak from the heart, because engaging the Chief of Staff, it has become clear that this is not a forum for words, it's a forum for action. On that note, Nana, Mr. Chairman, Your Excellency the President, the Chief of Staff and his deputies, ministers, members of Parliament, esteemed guests, fellow managing directors, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great honor to address this business forum, a forum of like-minded individuals and institutions aligned towards one shared purpose, a purpose to rebuild, reimagine, and reignite the economic destiny of our dear country. But first of all, let me salute the President for this bold initiative. Our presence here gives ample testimony, thank you, to the timeless truth that leadership indeed matters. True leadership with vision has an impact. And this is what we are seeing today. You inspire us a lot, Mr. President. I'd like to also thank you for your very impressive submission on Ghana's economic revitalization. Listening to you, it is very clear that at the heart of what you want to leave behind as your legacy is the industrialization of our dear country. I am happy to tell you that into our bank, you will see us fully aligned towards agribusiness, towards manufacturing, and of course towards trade. In agribusiness, over the years, many banks have shied away from supporting primary agriculture. And the question I always ask my colleagues is, if you don't support primary agriculture, how do you then get the produce to even support agro-processing and the value chain? And so we are committed to supporting even at the onset of the agricultural process. So never again would you come to GCB and we'll tell you that we cannot support your business if it is primary agriculture. We are keen to support businesses along the full value chain from agribusiness to exportation. Again, one of the things we think our customers face is access to long-term finance. So project financing has become a very scarce rare thing in our industry. Most businessmen are looking for long-term funds to put up factories. And Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, it will not be possible for us to really achieve that industrialization if banks are not keen or able to find long-term financing to support building factories that would get us to where we want to get to. And so we've been engaging DBG and other DFIs to see how we can access long-term financing to support businesses, build factories, build local capacity to export whatever they are bringing into those factories. It is something that we are keen on as a business. Beyond that is also the GCB way of linking businesses to be able to export onto the other markets. And I think Mr. President rightly said it, that the challenges that we are facing between America and China presents a very good opportunity for us here as entrepreneurs to see how we can take advantage to export a lot of our raw materials onto the international market. The major challenge that businesses have in this is the fact that the standards that we produce in Ghana are below the standards that are being accepted at the international market. And so we are working again with Ghana Export Promotion and perhaps very soon with Free Zones Authority to be able to get protocols in these international markets that would allow you to be able to export into those markets. There's a lot more that we'll be doing, but I'm sure I will leave the podium for my colleague MDs to also come and share with you what we are doing collectively to support and reset the country as Mr. President desires. In conclusion, I'd just like to reaffirm the commitment of GCB to your cause. This bank has been with you for 70 years. We are not going anywhere. We'll be with you through crisis. We'll be with you through difficult moments. And I think the purpose of a bank is not to only support businesses or the economy when things are right in the economy. It is for us to also help fix the economy. So I'd like to give you the commitment of GCB to this particular cause. Thank you very much, and I look forward to having the conversation even beyond this particular forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Farhan Al-Hassan, MD, GCB Bank, PLC. For the benefit of time, we would want to plead with the MDs that if you can do the presentation within 5 minutes space, we'll be very happy with that. Next to do his presentation is the MD, Agricultural Development Bank, Edward Ato Sapon. Let's give it up for him whilst he walks onto the podium.